Okay. Oh. Oh my god. We got a white light. What is that about?
Hi again, and welcome back for another video. And this time we repair a not so straightforward fault. You saw in the beginning it didn't work, and now all of a sudden it's working. And all I did was get down to the disassembly process of getting down to the APU clamp. That's it, and it's turning on. And I think I even played it. No, I didn't. The fan was still there. So I switch it off and I turn it on a couple of times just to be sure of is this an easy fix or not. So let's fast forward to that.
Let's give this another go. Blue light. We do got a picture. Is it gonna stay on?
So it's not crashing again, and I went through the menu, browsed around, even though the fan wasn't in and I didn't want to risk it getting too hot. So I was happy with that, and all I wanted to do now is to clean it up, replace the thermal pads, liquid metal, and check some codes just for my own curiosity. So let's go to that. Maybe something is about to fail, so I'm going to test it. And if it does the blue light again on something demanding, then we'll have to figure it out. It could be. What could it be? I mean, this one looks crazy, but it's working, so whatever. Could be oxidation. I wouldn't be surprised if all of this is related to the gunk that's caked on this power supply. Just now I'm going to replace. That looks fresh, that looks pretty good. So I'm going to leave them. I'm going to replace these with thermal putty. This as well. Let's see what the VRM looks like. Okay.
At least we know, isn't it?
Right, so I've disassembled it. Look to the other side. Dry spots. Which tells me that the console was put vertically for a long time. Maybe that's what caused it to shut down or not power on or God knows what. Same thing here. Right at this point, I had checked all the fuses and they were all good, and I couldn't see any shorts on any capacitors on the VRMs or anywhere else. So I had already gone out and cleaned out the power supply and dust that was on there and everywhere else. Checked the HDMI connector, as you can see, and I couldn't see anything. So I moved on to cleaning the liquid metal and applying the thermal putty. I wanted to show you guys also how I'll link the person who showed how to actually apply it, but it's also in the instructions of the liquid metal book. The 1 second, let me see what the conductor note. So how it's done and how it's supposed to be done. I've done it. I've used it on my own PS5 and it works a dream. The fan barely kicks up, if at all. So this is where we're gonna catch up on the video. Okay, see you in a bit. Right, I'm just gonna get a right, and I'm just yeah, that's fine. Right, we could use that later. So here I have it on the tip, and now I just start working it into the face of the chip. This method
is better than just gloving it on and whatnot. Why? Because this way, and even if it says on the thermal greasy note instructions, this way it penetrates the die.
Alright, I was wrong here. It does not penetrate the die. That's not the purpose of using pressure on liquid metal on the APU die or the heatsink. The reason is to ensure optimal thermal contact and prevent air gaps, to fill in irregularities on a microscopic level, to increase heat transfer and improving cooling performance. That's why, really. Liquid metal can also degrade over time, potentially losing its effectiveness and requiring reapplication. So I've seen other people recommend to have a couple of applications of liquid metal down the line, 3 months, 6 months, and then you're good. Forms a coating on either the die or the heatsink, I can't remember. But things like this staining as well are quite normal on the die. But takeaway is, when you're applying it, put pressure and reapply it when you can. Service your consoles, basically, is what I'm getting at. Okay, let's continue with this.
Can't see it. Let's move this. Let's get some light. Right, it's all clean, all good. Same thing, same tip. Working it in. This one's a bit easier because it's not a shiny mirror. It's more of a metal block.
Right, just real quick. The VP of Mechanical Design at Sony, Yasuhiro Otori, did an interview with 4Gamers, and he said something like, the aluminium and copper is what the heatsink is primarily made of, but the bit that contacts with the APU of the PS5 is coated in silver, so the gallium doesn't really interact or is unreactive with its harmful effects that it might have with the copper. So,
for your health.
Perfect. Thermal putty. Over the key areas.
the thermal putty was all done on the other side now, and all that was left now to do was to put it back together and give it a test. And let's see what happened.
Okay, with everything back together, except for the faceplates. Let's see. Yeah. Beautiful. All done.
But we weren't all done. Errors started to appear again. You would play 5 minutes and then it would just, with no warning, shut off. So let's just go through. I've managed to catch it and let's see it.
Yeah.
Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
It's not working again.
But the good news now was he was developing the initial fault, the blue light, and then 1 second and then off. We can work with that. So it was consistently doing this type of fault, which is better than having something intermittent. So now it was time to go. I looked over my UART codes, and sure enough, the VRMs had to be undone. So those ones in blue, yep, I had to dig up all of that thermal putty from the factory and start probing the capacitors to the MOSFETs. I couldn't find any faults. In continuity mode, no differences in resistances or diode readings. So this was my last resort here. Thermal camera. I was looking for anything that would stand out really. I had my power adapter for the PlayStation plugged in, and I was just clicking the on and off button. I did hook it up to my bench power supply, but it was giving me normal readings, so I needed that blue light to be there, and that's what I was doing, pressing it on and then it would turn off, pressing it on and then it would turn off. The footage you see right now is with the bench power supply. You see how it's just everything's on, so it was difficult to kind of go with this, so I abandoned this and went to the other way of plugging in to the mains. I'll show you that 1 second.
Right in this post right here.
I hope you saw it, but I'm going to press it again. Yep. So I think there are 2, 6, I think there's 8 MOSFETs. So number 3 is the one that we're looking at. It's the one where I press it and the whole thing just poof, and then the system shuts down. So now it's just a matter of removing it and installing a new one. This next part you'll see me replace the MOSFET, and on the side on the left you'll see the electrolytic capacitors. They do get damaged in the process. I think next time I've done this before and it didn't get damaged because I was a little bit more careful. I covered all of the side in a sort of right angle, MacGyvered a little piece of foil, doubled it so it was quite thick and they didn't get harmed. But this capacitor here, I started to bulge, so I thought, well, better to be safe than sorry. And you'll see, just to be careful, I took away another one and also another one, because I don't like to repair things as just a willy-nilly, oh, it should work, or let's leave it a chance. No, it has to be a good proper job. So enjoy the rest of the fix, and I'll get back to you once we start testing, hopefully it working. So be right back.
Okay, we're back. So change the VRM MOSFET and 3 of those 220 microfarad. I think the microfarad capacitors. So 3 of them because they got singed. Now let's see what happens. Oh, straight to white. That's a good sign. I think, yeah, it was flashing blue last time for a second. So now, okay. And I don't think it would be more than 5 minutes on Cyberpunk. Yes, I know.
Right, so the next part was just testing, and it worked absolutely fine. I mean, at this point it would just shut off, but it just kept going, and 10 minutes went by, 15 minutes went by, and it was fine. So after this I put it back together and then tested it for another hour or two, and it was fine. The fan is super quiet. The thermal putty, I always do to any of my repairs. I want to make the PS better than it was. The liquid metal as well. So really good, smooth running console. And at this point I just want to check to shut it off and restart it, just so it doesn't throw up any random surprises, and it was fine. The only criticism with all PS5 is the power supply buzzing noise, but stay tuned for a future video, because I do make an attempt to fix that or quieten it down. So stay tuned for something like that coming in my future videos. And now it's just the final test with everything put back together, and it was working fine. I think I booted up Expedition, ran it for a while, and it's amazing, works fine. So I hope the error code that I got will provide someone with some sort of use. They say you have the same error code, you know where to go. Or if someone's new to fixing things or just likes watching this sort of things, I hope this, was helpful, entertaining, or anything like that for you. And let me know if you like this sort of thing, or what else I should do in future videos, or what you would like to see, etc. But until next time, thanks for watching, and take care. Bye.